In this letter, Seneca is uh, pulling in some advices and writing to Lucullus about how we, might think around if we are having, for example, that we think that we are in a kind of situation that we cannot or don't know what to do about it. A kind of situation that we feel that we, need to do some changes or improve and so on, but we are in a kind of position you can say that we are not comfortable with, still pursuing whatever we want. So Seneca is beginning to refer to a Epicurean philosopher, Epicurus, which tells us that he has, two students. The one is, let's call that the one, and the other the other. So the one is, you can call more fortunate. He we can think of that as the one who understand things better, easier, or in a way that uh, could be understood and used in the person's life. And while the other is the one that might need time, we can say, or he might need some, extra training, you can say. And what he's going to say about the persons are that, the one you might be more fortunate, but I'm going to say something good about the other also, because what he does is that he, uses, or he, brings himself closer to whatever he wants to achieve or to understand, and so live a better life. And he says that for that reason he has greater congratulations for the one, but more admiration for the other. For although both arrived at the same destination, it is more praiseworthy to have achieved the same result with more difficult material. So notice here, he's just praising that also the person who arrives there, even if whatever you're using is a material that you see it as difficult, but you still bring yourself closer, and so on and so forth, as we mentioned. And then he is going to let's see here, he is going to give an example of buildings, the other being tall and magnificent, that he writes, while the other is somehow hidden from the observer, and since they busy themselves with foundations, and that has a direct reference to what we said about these two persons, directly to the other person, we can think. and he's then going to go on and essentially saying that, oh, the man, the person, or the kid, or the older guy, pick whoever you want, that is making his way toward wisdom. Another word for that is we might think of knowledge. um, is that he actually drags himself there, he says, in his own words. And you might ask, why should we do as he commands or writes, likewise to his friend, right? And so that has to do with living a life that, as long as you are willing to, get from A to, or like B level to A level, and so on and so forth, like that. But what he's going to also talk about is this role model, we might call, um, and he's distinguishing, different kinds that that he knows of. So what different kinds are there? So there are those people that whatever they are speaking about, they don't do it for, you might say, the sake of the subject itself. uh, they are doing it because of the praise itself. We might, we might think of in terms of, lecturing, uh, or a theatrical, the both occasions he mentioned, and like in a lecture, there might be some teachers that teaches out things that he thinks that, oh, I'm just going to burst forth my knowledge, and but in some occasions it might be that that person is only just getting out what he wants, and not so much as paying attention if it really helps in terms of living a ethical life, a virtuous life, that sort of things. And that is not good, he's going to eventually tell us. And he's going to have it distinguished it and from the person that actually have this, as he calls it, if he actually is paying attention to learn, to make another person learn whatever he is learning out, and to make it as to for his own good. He says, yeah, and eventually he's going to say that that you are going to choose a helper that you admire more when you see him than when you listen to him. And that's specifically about things we mentioned, right? And yeah, so and one thing he's going to take up in this letter is philosophy. So we might ask, uh, how does philosophy have to do with this? I mean, mainly because Seneca himself is a person that devotes or praise much of philosophy, but also that philosophy, he thinks that actually could help in distinguishing whatever things we deem to be good and some things that we deem to be lesser good or bad, if you will. Um, so yeah, and one thing I want to mention is that let's see here. He says or asks, "Hey friend, what are you going to do if you are in a situation that you just need to have some ideas going around so as to make you started?" And he's essentially going to say that, oh, buddy, you don't need to look further, just look on the recent persons, um, he says. Um, and yeah, he says that a guy called Fabianus, is lecturing to a audience. But what he noticed in this occasion is that the so-called viewers, or correctly listeners, those that stands around and listen to him, they are just applauding for the guy. They are also stretching their hands to him, um, and he eventually goes on saying that, hey, but you might want to know that in this occasion it is a you know difference uh, between praise and essentially rhetorical. What are you like if you are standing beside the crowd, which is praising and doing this stuff mentioned to that guy Fabianus, are you going to stick to them and say, hey, I'm going to join you and do the exact thing as you do, imitating, or pick whatever word you like? Um, he doesn't say it explicitly, but I think that he means, along these lines, that you just need to, you know, uh, differentiating what is it that the people are, getting from you or sees, within you. And those things might not be the things that you, Lucullus, is, going to take home with you, can say. If you are wanting to, improve uh, in and so to live a more ethical life, uh, or you might come with an objection. I want to be those person who's doing these sort of things to Fabianus. Why can't I be like that? Seneca doesn't go in it, and I think I'm just going to leave it here. But certainly, we can, think about this, sort of things.